Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever episode of the S.E.N.S.E podcast. And if you're wondering why S.E.N.S.E, it means sustainability, education, nutrition, social justice and environment. This podcast is brought to you by African Youth Growth Foundation, AYGF. I am Caroline Godwin, your host for this show, and with me in the house is my co-host, Mr. Ikenna Madu.
Hey guys, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much. So on the S.E.N.S.E podcast, every day we're going to bring to you topics around the thematic areas of African Youth Growth Foundation, AYGF, which are public health, nutrition, migration, education, climate change, and the rest of them. And today, because it is the month of mental health for men, we're going to be anchoring on the topic mental health, and on that we're going to specifically talk about anxiety disorder in men. And to bring you this topic today, we have a beautiful guest in the house by name Miss Peace Alechinu. Hello Miss Peace, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And you look very beautiful.
Thank you. And you
Your hair.
also do.
Thank you very much.
All natural.
You're crushing already.
Thank you very much.
Alright.
Okay, so Miss Peace, our viewers are ready to listen to you, and to start the conversation, I'd like if you can tell us a little bit about what mental health is, and then we can now talk about anxiety disorder, especially in men.
All right. Thank you guys for having me once more.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be explaining what mental health is like I'm talking to a layman. Because, I mean, we don't know who your viewers are. I don't know who your viewers, so I'm just speaking to a layman. So mental health is just basically dealing with the psychological being of a human being. It has to do with your emotions. It has to do with your decisions. It has to do with everything that has to do upstairs, aside your brain. It's not just focused on your brain. It's talking about your emotions, how you run your day-to-day life. So that's what mental health is. And when we talk about anxiety in men, of course, women also face anxiety, but then we're particular about talking about anxiety in men. So anxiety in men, I would say, is the fear of the unknown. Let me put it in the simplest English. So the fear of the unknown of what's going to happen to me in the next stage of my life, what's going to happen to me in the next phase of my life.
Yeah.
So that's why we, or some of the experts, have done their research, and they found out that 70% of men these days actually have anxiety. And the proportion at which we have men to women who have anxiety is actually 60 to 40. Women face more anxiety than men.
Okay.
But
And why would that be?
I honestly would not be able to give you an exact answer.
Because the reason why I'm asking is, in the society where we are today, it's obviously patriarchal, and
Of
we know that
course,
women
yeah.
are generally stigmatized, and they're also
Exactly.
called the vulnerable class. So why
Yeah.
do you think the men are more anxious than the women, and what makes you say that?
I would say most of the reasons why men are more anxious is due to the fact of societal pressure.
Okay.
As a man, you have so many pressures coming from your family, from the society. You hear things like, at a certain age, you're supposed to have accomplished a certain thing.
task or
At a certain
goal.
age, you're supposed to be married. At a certain age. So these are things that the society and as well family has mounted on our men, causing them to be anxious. So regardless of the fact that they face most of this anxiety, we should also know that anxiety is normal and is also abnormal.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know, Caroline, why I'm happy about this topic, and how why Peace is talking about this topic is because this will help us answer just maybe a few questions and help our viewers understand some things as well. Because for us to dive into this issue of anxiety in men, I mean, as a guy now, there's a lot of pressure, societal pressure, just like she mentioned. I mean, you have from family, you have from your work, you have from
your own life
expectations.
Relationship. You don't
Your
even mention that one.
relationship. Because
Exactly.
see, you know, relationships on a whole different level. On that day.
Yeah.
But based on social issues, your family, your work, even as a man being yourself now, there's whole that
I need to
do this as a man. I need
yeah.
to raise that standard.
Especially because
Just-
you're seen like a mentor. If you even
You're
have
seen
children,
like a
everybody,
mini-god.
everybody's
mini
looking
god
up
to the
to you.
society,
You have
so
to
you have to
be-
keep to standard.
You have to be that representation of strength.
Yeah.
So, and you also hear that situation whereby men, they don't, how do I put it? Men don't, or men are not that vulnerable as
Express their emotion.
They're not allowed. They're not being vulnerable to people around. So
Yeah.
it just makes it. And when you find that guy that is vulnerable, either they will just classify him as nice guy
Or
or
he's
weak.
weak. Yeah.
He's weak and it baffles me. It really baffles me actually why they do that, because I believe that men are actually humans too, right?
they are.
And
Yes.
they should be given the avenue, or they should be allowed an opportunity to express themselves. I mean,
You know, there's also that excuse. Sorry, there's also that excuse where they say, once a man has that whole sense of he's not being vulnerable, he's not being weak. There's also the idea of like, okay, he's providing security. He's trying. Some women might see that as a trait, like, okay, he's a person that I can be secure with and stuff like that. So I think there are levels to this. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Because even if you're saying that guy is going to provide you with security and all that, think about his mental health too. Because if you're going to be into relationship now, you might see this guy is tough, he's strong, alpha male kind of vibe. But next thing now is after like 2 months into relationship, you don't know what the issue these guys have, and then it's now leads to domestic violence. Next thing you're hearing reports and all that. So I mean,
okay, so then what would we say will be the way forward? How do we help men out? Because we have a lot of people running to help women this, stigma this, stigma that, and all. But then men are, like we just discussed right now, and men are not really heard. They are not given the opportunity. So what do we say, or how do we go about it? How do we help them to be open enough to want to express themselves to us, and even cry if possible? I mean, I can imagine my man crying because I think it's allowed.
I mean, you know, the society today has given the man a very low self-esteem, and I'm honestly not in support of it. As a man, you are entitled to your own emotions, you are entitled to your own feelings, you have the right to express yourself at any given point in time. But then I feel like the way forward, since we're talking about this issue, I feel like the number one way forward right now is to actually sensitize our society. Aside sensitizing our society, I think we should go back to the family.
yes.
Because most times where you have men who have so much anxiety disorder, or as the case may be, is usually from the family.
From that young age.
Parents should stop comparing their children to others. They should stop mounting pressure on their children.
That's what we literally see these days.
So,
Every day.
No,
I
we
mean,
see it
literally every
everywhere.
day.
We see it
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Yes, and
especially,
it's wrong.
let me use it in this way. Let's use this generational thing now, like the millennials,
Yeah, and the Gen
Z.
Zs, yeah.
I feel millennials had more of the comparison factor when it comes to family. They
Yeah.
always want you to like, can't you see
Your mate,
Mr.
yeah.
Tunde's son, or can't you be more like this?
The annoying thing is most times they use themselves.
Yes, they use themselves.
Children to themselves. When I was your age, I was doing this.
And the funny thing is that when you find out when they were actually your age, they were not doing
perfect.
these things.
They're not doing these things.
So why are you
So why are you
comparing me?
comparing?
Exactly.
So
Different times.
I think one thing parents should know is that your children, even though they have the same genes or DNA or whatever,
course.
they are different people. They are
And-
completely different.
And to add to what you just said, I feel like one thing people do not understand, even both the millennials, both the Gen
Gen Z,
Zs, one thing
Gen
that's
X,
one singular line that everybody doesn't understand yet is that we all grow at different paces.
Yes, exactly.
We're not the same. Even if we're born as twins,
It's as easy as
who
looking
you
at-
are is who you are. Who I am is who I am. And what might take you 1 month might take me 2 years.
Yeah.
That's how we are built. And that's God's plan for everyone. So you do not want to interfere with the plan of God. Sorry, I have to actually bring the spiritual
there is
factor
needed.
here. But it's the actual truth. So stop rushing your children. Let them grow at their pace.
I think some parents are beginning to understand that now.
Well, I'll say is maybe the parents who have Gen Z children.
Not
Learned
learned parents. Because
Yeah.
in my experience,
We don't really have so much of them.
No, but
We
problem
don't
is,
actually.
Don't,
I
so-
think there needs to be proper sensitization. I mean by proper sensitization, because from my
Grassroots,
experience as
yeah.
a teacher, from my experience as a teacher, because I had that experience before, there are some parents that would see issues with their children and still would want to live a lie. You understand? They want to live a lie. Especially, okay, let's say when it comes to the male child now, your child is bullying another child, or definitely as a teacher, you have to trace it. Why is this child behaving like this?
Yeah.
There has to be something happening at home.
I'm enjoying this topic. I wish you can have it next time.
There has to be something happening at home
Yeah.
that is triggering your child to act out this
Behave,
way.
yeah.
So
For every
then,
reaction, there's an action.
I mean, there's an action. So from that, it now leads to the whole.
I
If
need
daddy's
to be-
doing this, I have to do it
be
this
like
way.
this,
I have to be like
yes.
daddy, or mommy is always treating daddy this way. I have to be opposite of that.
Yeah.
Or you don't know what goes on in that child's mind, because what they see. And sorry to use this analogy, monkey see, monkey do.
True.
That's
yes,
the thing.
yes. I
Well,
believe that.
Whatever they see, they will
That's
do.
what they actually do.
Yeah,
That's why
they
they
see
say
that.
it's better to teach them by your actions, or it's easier for them to learn through your actions. Okay, so then what will be our final word to our viewers, the society in general?
I would say from my own end, the advice that allow the men go to rehab. Stop stigmatizing rehab.
Yes.
Rehab is not a bad place. It's a place where people actually let out their emotions and be themselves.
Do we really have therapy centers
we
here,
do.
rehabilitation
but
centers
people
here?
don't
But we
recognize it
don't
that much.
practice. Yes, they are not recognized because people have a certain notion that for people who go to therapy, exactly.
You're a mad person.
So
That's
I
good.
feel like therapy should be your number one go-to. And also men, please, if you have a male figure in your life, women, children, fathers, mothers, or whoever, please and please allow these men express themselves. When a man is trying to talk, don't shut him down. Don't put him down. Don't say, as a man, you're not supposed to say that. As a man, you're not supposed to do that.
No,
that's wrong.
Back to visiting resource materials, reading
course.
books, because some people go into the society without some sort of form of knowledge. They don't even know anything.
Just
But
go
yes.
blank-minded.
Going back to what you said about the expression of yourself, please let's make it corrected now. The expression doesn't mean you should go to domestic violence. So
Of course not.
please.
Of course not. Of course.
Please, there is a
very
line.
big
That's
line,
where
yeah.
going to resources helps, because
Yeah.
it teaches you to know where
Where
to draw the line
yeah.
between being vulnerable and then being okay. So and oh man, this is really interesting.
Yes, of course.
this discussion has actually opened me a lot, and I believe that it has done the same to the people listening to us today. And I hope we can have another time with
I
you.
know, because this is a very
this
extensive
is a very
topic.
extensive topic.
And we can't just capture
can't
it.
cover it in
Yeah,
the-
so, and please, men, speak up. Don't keep to yourself, please.
Don't worry.
Dear viewers, I hope you heard. I hope you have learned, because I have. Obviously, I've learned something new today. And please, society, make it easier for our men now. Make it easier for them. They are human, so give them an opportunity to actually express themselves. And men, you have the right to be expressive. Please, if you have to cry, cry. And it goes down to the women. If you have a man in your life, please treat them as much as you want to treat them as a king or as kings. Yes, please. Also know that they can be babies, and they are allowed to be babies once in a while.
Okay, well, shout out to our African kings as well. Let's so
Of course.
the thing I want us to do now is, if you have questions, feel free to ask. We'll answer them. We'll tackle them. Let's have a debate on them. I mean, this is a very wide and broad topic.
Of course.
And being the month of mental health for men, please, let's discuss. Let's look for a way forward.
You're actually going to see our social media handles, so you can send your messages, and we are going to be here to respond to them as swiftly as possible. And if you want to come in on the show as well to talk about it, fine. Just send us a message and we'll reach out to you. It's very simple. And dear men, we really do appreciate you. We're using this opportunity to tell you that we see all that you do. We know that you have feelings. We appreciate every effort that you put into us as women, into the family, into the society, into the workplace, and we say well done. Thank you very much. And if you need to express yourself at any point in time, please go ahead. Once again, I'd like to appreciate these amazing people in this house with me, my co-host Mr. Ikenna Madu, and this beautiful guest, Miss P. Salechinu. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having both of you today on this show. And
can't wait for the next one.
right, I can't wait. I hope we can do it very soon. Okay, thank you very much, viewers. See you. I hope you will not forget to tune in to S.E.N.S.E podcast brought to you by African Youth Growth Foundation. See you next time. Please don't forget, send in your questions, your comments, and we will be here, right here, to answer them. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, that's true.